Welcome to Successful Living with Bill Napick. Every week we talk about success and everything that goes along with it. You'll learn the principles of success, how to achieve success, and learn to overcome challenges that may be getting in the way of success in your life. You'll hear from Bill Napick, a radio personality and business development expert, along with insight from special guests. If you're ready to find your path to success or take the success you're enjoying to the next level, stay tuned. Successful Living with Bill Napick is on right now.
And welcome to the show, Successful Living with Bill Napick, and today with Jill Robin Payne. She is a psychotherapist and board-certified professional counselor and certified relationship specialist. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Bill.
Very exciting. Well, let's tell people, first of all, you are around the media and you're on other radio shows and even TV appearances, but let's tell people about what you do.
I am a psychotherapist, and I am not psycho. People come to me. I like to tell people, Bill, that I'm more of a coach because I do what is called brief therapy, positive therapy and brief therapy. So you come to me, and if you have past issues that are influencing or getting you stuck.
And who doesn't? Almost.
Right. Well, right. That brings you to me. If you have those things, then we work on those and get you to move forward. So we don't dwell on the past like Sigmund Freud. We dwell on the present and get you to have a wonderful future.
In fact, it makes me think of to have any kind of great future and even have a great moment that when you're present in that moment, I think that we all have to have a plan, right? How much of a plan is involved with what you're helping people with?
Well, some people that do come see me are what you call lost and need some direction. A lot of people will come to hear themselves and get some other views and change their mindset. So they may have a plan. Their plan isn't getting them to where they want to go. So they may think that their plan is what they want, but their behavior and their actions and what they're receiving isn't getting them what they want. So they come see me, and then we get a clearer picture.
And I like what you said, because mindset is so important in everything we do. And you have to have, and I'm going back to the movie Cool Hand Luke, but you have to get your mind right to proceed and to get results in life, to get positive results that we all want. So as we talk about our show here, Successful Living, give us a few ideas of success as we think about success. And when people come to you and say, Jill, man, I'm not as successful as I'd like to be. So that very basic starting point.
Let's start there, because when people come to me, they are a success because whatever they did in the past got them to be where they are today. So you are a success. You can walk, you can talk. Some people can't. Some people can do other things. No matter what, they are living, they are making it in this life. They are a success. Now, it depends on what success means to you. It means something different to everybody. And success in our society, because of technology, has really gotten very stressful because we are competing with millions of people. It's not just our neighbors anymore that we would just talk to and work with. It's more we're working, I don't even know if it's against. It's just, I see you've got this. Well, let me see. Maybe I need to get that. So we're very dissatisfied, a lot of us today, because of technology. We're seeing all these things that other people have when if we would just look at ourselves, we are a success.
We need to be thankful for what we have. Because
exactly.
Just right off the bat, for the most part, all of us here in the United States of America, first of all, have great opportunities that other people just don't have. And we see it all the time. And we really see it here in this city of Houston, Texas, because people come here as fast. They get here as fast as they can from all over the world. And once they do, they really dig. A lot of people, not everybody, but once they do, a lot of them really dig in and go for the opportunity that we provide that other places don't.
Yeah. So basically that's it. So people come to see me and they're not feeling good about what's going on. And so when I have clients, really, they'll come see me, and they just come see me because when they leave my office, they feel great. So when they come.
So we need to bottle that. That's good right there.
Well, because this is my philosophy, Bill. You don't need to have the perfect solution. You just need to have some type of solution. So when you come see me, you get some type of solution. It may be just a little thing about calling your doctor, or it may be something where I'm going to go for a walk today. It's some type of solution so you feel as though you have some direction. And then you do that one little thing and you accomplish it and you feel great.
Well, let's say in the course of a month or so, what are some of the things that you help people? Are there certain things that you help with them the most, certain topics or certain issues? If you were to itemize a few bullet points, what are some of the things that you hear most frequently where people seek you out?
Happiness.
I'm not happy.
I'm not happy. And so everybody's unique.
Get happy. That's all. Hey.
So I gave you my book. And there are so many self-help books. I do group therapy at a hospital. Actually, I do horse therapy at a hospital twice a week. And so we will talk about all these self-help books because everyone is unique. And what I say, Bill, is everyone speaks a different language. And you need to find out, one, what your language is and what that other person's language is. Because, and I'm not talking about Spanish or French. I'm talking about, for instance, you speak the lingo of radio, and I speak the lingo of therapist. I speak the lingo of a wife. I speak a lot of different things. I'm from the East Coast, so all those things are going to get me to be able to talk a certain way. So we need to start listening more, and it's called active listening. And that's one thing I talk about. We talk about active listening because can you listen to a text?
No, I can read a text.
I was going to say, they put those emoticons. What are those emoticons?
Emojis.
Yes. Okay. And so I don't know. My husband did a text to me one day, and I wrote him back. I said, "How could you say such a thing?" He goes, "Jill, I was doing something funny and giving you a compliment." And so those texts you could misread because they are just black and white. And so what we're doing right now, I'm seeing you, I'm watching your eyes, and you're seeing me, you're seeing if I'm leaning into you, doing all these things. And we do all this unconsciously. And so that is what is active listening.
And first of all, let's back up, if you would, Jill. Horse therapy, what is that?
Oh.
I want to know what that is.
It's equine therapy is what it's called. I call it horse therapy because I like other people to understand what it is. And basically, a horse is a prey. And so it's different than a dog because a prey is going to be very sensitive to its environment. So the horse has an ability to sense how you're feeling. You may tell me, "Hey,
really?
Jill, hey, Jill, I'm feeling really great today." And you may be all up in your head. And if that is true, then the horse will walk away from you, even though you say you're all happy. So it gets you more grounded. It gets you to get out of your head because where are we today?
We're all in our head. I mean, we spend a lot of time there. That's why it's important to have the right mindset and to have things clearly laid out and a plan for our lives.
Right, exactly. So in equine therapy, it gets you to be more stable, more level, more into yourself. And I love it. It's good for people that have alcohol issues or substance abuse, where I am also a licensed chemical dependency counselor. And so therefore, I do help people that have dependence on certain things such as technology or drugs. So people are getting very dependent. I'm not going to say addicted because that sort of has a negative connotation. And that's another thing. If you come see me, we'll use different words because if you say hate versus dislike, they mean the same thing, yet one has...
And let's tell people as we go along, what is your website in case people want to just take a look even as we're talking?
It's my name, www.jillrobinpayne.com.
JillRobinPayne.com. Also, let's go to your book. You were talking about, the book is called Meeting People, It's Not a Game. If you're tuning into YouTube after the broadcast, I'm holding it up right now. So let's tell people about this book, Jill. Okay. Meeting People, It's Not a Game. Meeting people is really important because those are the foundation. Those are relationships that will be built or not.
Right. And what got me to write this book is because for many years, before I got my master's and before I got licensed to do what I do, people would come to me for advice. And so I have this knack where I can read people and help them with their relationships. And what people want in today's life and all over is to be heard, to be appreciated, and to be with people. And so what's happening is I'm going to bring up technology again because it's wonderful. That's how I advertise. And you advertise because so where would we be without technology? It's just we need to have a balance. And so what's happening is I'll have people that they'll tell me, Jill, I don't want to talk on the phone. I get real anxious. And so imagine if they don't want to talk on the phone and they get anxious, how do they feel when they're talking in front of people? If you're going to have a relationship with someone and finally get married and have kids, you're going to have to be able to relate together without any technology. So this book is getting people to understand that.
And when we think about technology, even without, if we were to turn the clock back 100 years,
right,
there would still have been distractions in life and for people to go forth and to just be focused. Right. However, today, with all these things that we have, technology is a big distractor, as so many other things, even going back to when you were when we started out here today talking about success, that sometimes we think we have to be successful because of all these advertisements and what the other person or family has. We really don't. We have to really be thankful for what we have and go from there and take our plan forth. But we are super distracted this day and age like no other time, I bet, in history.
Right. And that's why I recommend people take a time out. They take a time out, and I will tell people to take a time out and also maybe even go for a walk and talk to yourself. And wonderful technology has made it where people can put something in their ear and talk to themselves, and people think that they're talking on the phone so they won't think anything's wrong with them. It's very important to hear yourself because there's so much noise out there that we're having trouble hearing who we are. And that's causing a lot of problems in relationships.
And I highly endorse, and I've been practicing that for years.
Have you?
Taking a walk. I love to take walks.
Do you talk to yourself?
I do. I was talking to myself this morning.
We shouldn't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody. Actually, I was practicing a presentation, so it was kind of weird. I was walking along, and when you want to be alone, it just happens everybody else is out with their dog. So I'm walking there this morning, practicing a presentation that I will be doing here in the next couple days.
Yes.
And talking to myself. But even without that, the beauty of taking a walk, certainly physically it helps you out, physical fitness, but I find that for some reason if I ever miss that walk, which is very rare here in decades now, but I find that just the mental aspect of not taking that 30, 45 minutes of walking, it's so important, and it's a good thing that let's keep our phones off when we take that walk for maximum therapy.
Right. I tell people to turn off their technology at least an hour a day. What I do.
That's a nugget of gold right there.
Yes.
At least an hour a day,
Just
because
a
lot of people don't.
Right. They don't turn it off. Leave it in your car. Leave it someplace that you cannot get it. Because what we do is we keep it in our pocket. We'll put it in our purse. Well, you don't put it in your purse, do you?
No, but I have two phones, so I'm carrying around two of them, and they're in various pockets or my hand.
Right,
no
because
doubt.
you don't want to miss anything.
No.
And that's human. You know, it's a survival thing. We need to keep up on our toes. So we need to look at everything, what's going on. We are afraid we're going to miss something. So we keep on turning on this technology, and then we get rewarded. They've done studies at Stanford where when you hear that ping on the telephone,
it's something new. Hey, who is that?
You get a dopamine rush. So you get this chemical in your brain that says, ooh, this feels so good, I'm going to do it again.
That happens all the time. No question about it. Well, let's talk a little bit more. The other part of your book here.
I'm sorry, we get sidetracked, and there's so much to talk about.
However, it looks like this is also, it says footsteps to healthy relationships and meeting people. It sounds like, I have not read the book, but it sounds like this also has something to do with single people getting matched up along the way. Tell us about that.
Yes, and it has to do with both single and when you find that person, because there's a lot of books out there that get you with that person, and then what do? You don't know what to do. So the footsteps to healthy relationships, there's an acronym called BALL. And so that's boundaries, that's authenticity, that's laughter, and most important, listening. So if you can do those four things, boundaries is a big thing. We have a boundary right here, Bill. Mm-hmm. And that's all about, that's a physical boundary. Then there's the emotional boundaries. So we can ask people how much they weigh. Well, you don't do that in our society. So it's very important to know what your boundary is, because everybody's boundary is different, just like I talked about language. And so that's something that you cannot tell through the texting, and that's another reason that's causing problems. People will put things on Facebook, and they're like, why did you put that picture of me on Facebook? So this gets you, there's also a chapter in internet dating, because I want people to feel safe, And I want them to also know that these people that are on the internet are strangers. They don't know them. In the olden days, someone would know someone who knew someone.
By referral,
It'd be by referral.
Or in the real old days, the fixed marriage, but yes.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so now it's gotten where you can meet anybody you want, someone in Europe. And I have a lot of clients that will meet people that are in another place, and you don't know what's going on in that other place. You don't know what kind of life they have. So in the book, it tells you what to be aware of, what to look for. It also tells you things to wear. For instance, my outfit here, what color is this?
It looks like red, different shades of red on a white background.
Oh, okay. So colors are very important. The color that I'm wearing here is a very friendly color. So I wore that because I was just meeting you for the first time, and unconsciously you would see this and you'd go, oh, Jill's a delight, before I even open up my mouth. So not only what you wear is important, which I put in the book, how you present yourself. For instance, if I'm directly like this, I'm very intense, and it's
more of a confrontation situation.
Exactly. So all these little things, people will come to me and I'll tell them, if you're having a talk with your boss or you want business, wear something or sit in something that's cushiony. Like we're sitting in a nice cushion. It's very comfortable. It makes us feel comfortable together. And if I wanted you to warm up to me, I'd give you a hot coffee, and you'd put it in your arm and it would get you to feel very warm towards me. These are things that you'll find out in my book, places to meet people, things that people don't really think about. And then you take what you want from the book and go with it. It's been a success. I did a pilot study, and a couple of people there got married in the pilot study, and the rest of them are dating much better, much healthier.
So good information in here in the book, Meeting People, It's Not a Game,
yes.
Jill Robin Payne. Also, let's go back to that acronym, Jill. Boundaries, authenticity. What was the first L?
Laughter.
Laughter. That is so important.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to have a little bit of fun in life. Life can be stressful, but we must have laughter along the way.
Right. Humor does a lot. Matter of fact, if you are talking to your beloved and you want the subject to go another way, tell a joke or put a little humor in it. Don't talk down to whatever's happening. Just put some humor. So humor is very important. It also draws people in. If you tell a humorous story, if you're with a bunch of people, people love stories. So if you tell a story, they seem to remember it. And if you put a little humor in it, right away, they just warm up to you.
Well, and that's right. When you talk about storytelling, it is said in any kind of level, any kind of presentation,
right.
Companies merging, storytelling for speakers is so important,
right.
and it is so effective. It goes back to, I believe it was Aristotle. He talked about three things that help people relate or help persuasion: ethos, logos, pathos. And ethos is the system of credibility where we agree with people because of their credentials, basically put. And you can probably do hours on this. But number two, logos is when we agree or want to follow someone because of their logic. But the one that is always the one, and this is based on the TED speakers on YouTube, TED speakers.
Yes.
And it's pathos is the one where they have the most results because that's the emotion. We respond to emotions and to a good story.
Right.
Stories have been with us since the dawn of man, before our phones and all those things, right?
Right. So it gets you to be emotionally connected. And that's another thing.
And Aristotle didn't even have a computer.
Amazing.
That's right.
But he had word of mouth.
He had word of mouth, and he had a great insight into what motivates people. So it's very interesting. We're talking about him today so many years ago.
Right.
And give us an idea, Jill. Do you have any other books on the horizon now that you're mentioning books? What do you have in the works?
I do. I don't want to tell you the title. It's going to be about Trump. And it's going to be the psychological portion and the analytical portion so that people can understand what's going on, because a lot of the turmoil that's happening right now is because people aren't understanding what's happening. So that's what my book is going to be about.
Also, give us an idea, as far as people out there, as far as being successful in things, goals that people have. A lot of people want to write books. Give us an idea what's involved. Just take the book that we have now here, Meeting People, It's Not a Game.
Yes.
How much preparation and how long did it take from the idea side to where you actually got the book printed.
Right. Well,
that in itself is a journey.
It is. What happens with people, Bill, and it's the same thing with me. I did a lot of this was information from 20 years. And then all of a sudden I wanted to write a book. I wanted to write a book 4 years before I really did it. And I kept doing maybe a page or two. If people don't write things down, I know my clients, they say, Jill, I don't want to do it. You need to write things down. Get a calendar. Write down the 26th of May, I'm going to have this written. The 26th of June, I'll have this written. And even every day, I'm going to spend 5 minutes writing my book. That's going to get you to accomplish what you want to do. It needs to be written down. For instance, when I was taking my LCDC, if I didn't have a date that I was going to take that test, I would have probably not studied, or I may have waited. I wouldn't have studied. So if you have a time date, it gets you to work towards it. It's like a vacation.
And also writing things down. That's a way of capturing the ideas, because as we're out there every day and wherever we are, we're getting ideas all the time. Some of them are good. However, we have to capture them, and that is a good thing to make sure that we write them down.
Yes.
The website is Jill Robin Payne. And Jill, also you have some videos on your website. Let's tell people what they can find when they go there.
Oh gosh, a lot.
A lot.
Things on stress, things on the boundaries that we talked about, folkways, which are what's going on today. We have all these different people in our society, and so the social norms of the United States are a certain way where we talk to people, and whenever you have different societies get together, everybody has different folkways because it's the norm, it's the social norms. So I have something like that on there. I also have a blog. What is it? He Thought, She Said. And so, because a lot of most men think different than women. So remember I told you we all have different languages? Well, just magnify that when you're talking to the opposite sex, because the opposite sex hears totally different than what is coming out of your mouth. So what I'll do is on my blog.
I know that for sure, yes.
So
I've learned that the hard way.
I'm sure you have. And so is my husband. And so what I do is on my website, I will write a scenario of a situation between a man and a woman. And then on the He Thought, She Said, I'll write what he thought she said and how to, the solutions for it.
And also on your website, they can follow the different the other media appearances that you have.
Sure.
And some are on a regular basis. In fact,
Sam Malone,
you're on that show.
I'm on Sam Malone, and then I'm also going to be on Newsmax, which is with J.D. Hayworth, which is national, and I'll be on that this Friday. I've been on a couple of times, and he likes to talk to me about the stress that's going on and the anxiety and how to prevent it and things like that.
And what time are you on Sam's show?
Sam's show, I'm on every Wednesday at 9 o'clock.
And that's on 1070 AM, the sister station to this one. And once again, Jill Robin with one B, Jill Robin Payne. You can go to her website.com. Jill, thank you for being on Successful Living. I think we've got some success insights from you today. We're so grateful for that. And if the people want to call you, what's the phone number?
281-658-6925 or 281-995-8718.
Thank you so much. Jill Robin Payne on Successful Living, and we will see you next week. Don't forget to stay tuned to Real Estate Matters at 1 o'clock on this same station, and go to JillRobinPayne.com. And until next week, thank you for listening.